All right, so let me get started. Welcome to the Force Coffee Break. This is the episode number 56. This is the week pre-AU. So we are all very excited about AU next week. It's the first on-site event in 2 years. Big one. And I think we have a lot of people coming. And if you're coming, please stop by the developer booth. That would be a good chance to meet you all. And yeah, so as usual, coffee break is very open. So let me start with you. If you have any topics or questions, I know AU is coming. Who's coming to AU? If you have any projects, classes to present, very looking forward to hear from you. So who's going to AU next week? I know Kian is there. I remember, Kian, you said something about booking Airbnb. Did you went through with that?
I did, but it ended up not working.
Oh,
but
really?
That's a long story. I mean, it worked, and yet it didn't, if you see what I mean. I ended up,
Okay.
I'm in the Hilton now, so.
Okay, cool. Oh, you're already here.
No, I mean, I will be in the Hilton when I arrive.
Oh, yeah, okay, cool.
Yet.
Yeah.
I'm
just fun because I know that we have different hotels this week, so this time will be interesting. Okay, so this is too much side topic. What else we have going on for next week? I know we have the hackathon this week. Anyone here that is participating on the hackathon?
I see Juliana. Who else? That's it for now. We'll do another ping on it. Maybe someone else that's coming.
Yeah. Okay, so we have the hackathon going on this week. There's an interesting one. And I think the interesting piece about the hackathon is that, fun project, different ideas. And I know that we have prizes as well. So let me show up a bit of that in here. So that's next week, hackathon showcase. And that's coming up. When is the showcase? September 27th? Yeah. Will that be broadcasted again, Jaime?
Yes. And I think that also the winner itself will be like broadcasted during Jim's presentation.
Oh, okay,
so
cool.
That gives kind of like a good amount of exposure to the winners as well.
So pitch day and when is the presentation?
We cannot see your screen yet. I don't know if it's only me, but it says that it's.
Let me try again.
Yeah.
Can you see now?
Augusto has started screen sharing, but that's where it gets stuck.
Your screen is shared. Yeah,
Same here.
Oh, okay. All right. So it's not only
something weird is happening. Yeah. Your screen sharing is paused for.
If not, I can show it too.
Yeah, please. Something weird is happening.
Yeah. Don't worry about it.
You have to pay the bill, Augusto.
I have probably it's probably something around those lines,
All right, so let me share my screen. And I think we have a question in the meantime.
Yeah, okay, let me see the question. Digital twin visualization, is there a guidance on connecting to Azure IoT? So Moses, what are you using? You're using the data visualization extensions for viewer?
Well, I started.
We lost you there.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah. Now I can. Yeah.
I started on the back end with Azure IoT, and I have some streaming data from a sensor. And there's a couple of ways that you can connect Azure IoT to different platforms. But I was wondering if the visualization tools have already covered that ground in terms of guidance and connecting to Azure IoT.
I think that you can use it. We have support for that database. Who's best to answer this question?
Probably. Well, the thing is, like, I don't remember if we continue with that kind of like Azure stuff on the data visualization piece of it. But Michael might know a little bit more. Michael, do you know anything?
Yeah, there's some preliminary. I don't know if you guys can hear me very well.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can.
Okay. Yeah, there was some. There's some preliminary stuff on Azure, but we did not continue with it. It's too complicated for most customers. So we have an.
I do think they've simplified it a little bit so far. In terms of the streaming analytics, and they have some blob storage piece. So if I remember correctly, Michael, are you referring to the documentation? Well, from the that was the Forbidden City accelerator.
Yeah, that's the one. Yep.
Okay, I'll revisit that.
Okay. Yeah, it's a little complicated, but if you wanted to use the result that looks like Dash at 360, then yeah, you can use that. If you wanted to, you can work with the reference example from Eason and Peter. That's also a minimal example that doesn't have the complete timeline and the React framework that it really complicated things. But anyway, we can talk about it offline.
Okay, should I go through the office hours?
Yeah, that sounds good. Yes. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. My company is really taking a deeper look at digital twins, and so we're pushing hard on that front. Thanks.
Cool, thank you. So let me move back to the hackathon here. Now you can share. Hi, right, Jaime? You're on mute.
Okay, yeah, I'm muted. I just saw that. So prizes basically, we have, well, first let's start with the challenges, right? So the challenges this year, we have, in some way, kind of like similar to the ones that we had in the past. We do have a new one, which is the Hack the Planet one. So kind of like focus into the sustainability part of it. So if you end up building an application that connects to some like material database or something that can display the sustainability score in your application or calculates the carbon footprint on it and so on, that counts towards the Hack Planet. I think I already saw one that it's gonna be participating on that one, which is actually nice. For the Love of the 3D game seems to be one of those challenges that a lot of people actually are very interested. So that competition is definitely gonna be a good one. And yeah, so then we have the one for like digital twin, task automation, uses of ACC, and then also display of data across your application and so on. And with that, also the prizes this year, we do have a couple of things like the Aura Ring, which is a wearable, non-invasive as much as, let's say, one of those bracelets or anything like that. It's just a tiny little ring that displays quite a lot of data. Like you can track like quality of sleep and all that stuff as well, which is quite nice. The Nintendo Switch OLED seems to be a lot of people interest because that's one of the reasons they're like signing up for the 3D game. Then we have a blue air purifier. So we know that air quality itself right now, it seems to be like a topic. So definitely we wanted to give away some nice gadget to be like, I don't know, aware of the quality of your air around. The Kodak Luma 150, it's a mini projector. I don't know about you, but if you use any projectors at your home or outside or anything like that, they come in quite handy. And what I like about this Kodak is that it's quite small. Hyperbolt, I turned 36 on Saturday, so definitely this is something that I've been using a lot. And then the mechanical keyboard with a programmable mouse. I actually have this same model, and I can tell you, like coding with this thing, like it feels like you're coding with meaning. So definitely it's a good one to look around and to have. So yeah, so we have ongoing hackathon this week. Demo day, it's gonna be on Friday, and then meeting up with the judges on Saturday to go over what's gonna be the winners and so on. And I agree, Pedro, Hyperbowl, definitely it's a good choice.
Yeah.
And it is a virtual hackathon, actually, Moses.
Oh,
All right. Anything else
interesting.
you want me to?
No, just curious because we have the presentations this Friday. So if you are interested in seeing what people did, right? So we stay tuned for the presentation.
And then in regards to on-site events, we actually do have one that it's upcoming. I wanted to just do a quick pitch about it. We have an upcoming accelerator in the US, which is going to be in Kansas City. So we still have like a couple of spots available. So from the week of the 17th to the 21st, if you are around in the area or you want to go and have like good barbecue with us or anything like that, I will say come and join the Kansas City Accelerator. So it's free to attend, only like cost base on your side for lodging and all that stuff, and just runs by you. But then the rest of it, it's gonna be like having Stack Overflow on site. So definitely come and join us, and then yeah, we still have time to get in the applications for it.
Do you think there'll be more accelerators perhaps in Europe before the end of the year?
Yeah, so we are targeting one probably in November. We were thinking maybe like Prague for that one, and then the other one probably Munich, but in January. I know it's gonna be a fun time and cold for those. I remember Joao wanting to go and see the snow. But we'll see.
Yeah, snow in Germany is a bit naive.
Yeah.
Too cold. Yeah. So
and we are planning one for Brazil in December.
Yeah. Well, it will be summer hot, right? So complete different weather.
So you can choose between the summer or the winter. It's up to you.
All right, then I do see we have a question from Ame.
Yeah, so this is the login API for BIM 360. Yeah, unfortunately it's not available yet. That's the activity log, right? I'm getting this right, Ahmed.
Yeah, it's about the activity log. I think there was an endpoint earlier for this one, but it's obsolete by now, isn't it?
Sorry, say again.
Earlier, for various versions of BIM 360 API, I found an endpoint regarding exporting or accessing the activity log for admin for BIM 360. But by now, I think it's obsolete or not available. Is there any endpoint for BIM 360 API which provides us with activities done by admin or done by project manager, or document or folder log? Do we have any endpoints for these data? Like I want to analyze the activities happening on the project, the BIM 360 itself.
Yeah, so there was beta for that API at some point, but we decided that was not ready for production. So if that's the one you're talking about, the only one that we have available is actually the. Let me try share again to see if it works. Yeah, it still says it's paused.
Yeah, maybe you need to update yours soon. Send me a link and I can open it here.
Yeah, it was working before, but no, you never know. Let me post out here. If you go to the BIM 360 reference documentation, there is some details there. So it explains what is possible. me try again with the whole screen. Let's see if it works. Okay, now it's working, right?
Yeah.
Not allowing me to share one app only. That's okay. So that's the you can use data connectors, not the same thing, but you can see users account information. It doesn't include activity, but no, it includes other information. So if you're really looking for activity, who opened what, who uploaded what, so that's the one that is not available.
Yeah, I'm talking about the activity one.
Yeah, so that's the one that is not available at this point.
Okay, the other question about design automation for Revit. Do we have any chance to export NWC files from Revit documents using design automation API?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's also not available, but let's see, right? Design automation. And then you go to...
Same problem again. We're not seeing your screen.
Yeah. Today's the day, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's
There we
see.
go.
Revit specific information. Oh, actually, restrictions. Yes, export Navisworks not available.
Yeah.
Yeah, the main reason it's because probably, you know, that export itself is kind of like a plugin that needs to be installed directly into Revit, right? And it's not part of that cloud engine in order to process the export for that.
Yeah. Okay, thank you for now.
So let's say, as I'm sharing here, let me ask a different topic. We did post this blog post a while back about the DWG translation changes. I was wondering if anyone here is using DWG translations. Anyone using DWG files?
I'm using them. I haven't tried it yet, though.
Brian, is that right?
Yes.
Okay, so how do you use DWG translations? You just view, you access properties. What do you do there?
Well, okay, so we have some very complex DWG files that will not visualize properly in ACC. And so what I would like to do is use the model derivative API to save it as a DWF or a PDF every time that some change is made into DWG, and then use the derivative, you know, as a way to comment and share the design with our client.
Okay.
And what I'm just wondering, I guess, for some advice about it, like how to approach this this kind of problem.
Okay, so just one more question. Then. When you translate those DWG files, do you just view them, or do you need to do some script to read the properties and do something else with the properties? Are you just viewing or accessing the metadata?
Just viewing.
Okay,
it's just viewing, really.
Okay.
It's just viewing.
Okay, now about the visual fidelity issue that you're having, right? You're saying that they look different in the viewer. Is that correct?
No, the viewer won't render them. It's too complex. There's too many. There's too much data. There's too many layers. There's too many layouts. You know, the viewer won't render it.
When you say won't render, is that as any error message happening? Or yes, it just fails, or it just reload? What happens there?
Yeah, it's a kind of generic message. It just says failed to upload, but the DWG is there, but it's not viewable in the large model viewer.
Okay, so and that is in BIM 360, right?
The models, are they GIS or terrain models at all?
No, they're not. They're what they are is they're actually they're equipment models that are probably originally in 3D in something like SolidWorks or a program like that somebody has created a 2D view and exported it as a DWG and then given it to us. And I'll just say there's way too much information in these drawings. That's the kind of the root cause.
Yeah. Okay. So I'd like to confirm that. So when you go to BIM 360 and try to view those models, can you get the URN of those modules and send that to us so I can look at the logs why they are failing?
Sure.
If they're not failing because they cannot load in the viewer, they're failing because they cannot translate to the viewer for some reason, right? So you have to look at.
That's more like it, yeah. They can load it, but they can't translate it. It will process for hours, but then it will ultimately fail.
Yeah, so I know that the DWG team is working on some optimizations, and if you can look at the logs for those files, we can definitely investigate what's happening. So the URNs will help us look at the logs. So you can send that to forge.help@autodesk.com and just briefly describe what's happening, so we know what is the case here. So forge.help@autodesk.com, and someone will look at it. But we need the URNs of the modules.
Yeah, I can send them.
Cool. Thank you.
Yep. Thank you.
All right. So we are doing some work with DWG, so that's why I was asking that question. Let me share again here. So the changes are really about how we extract properties, not only viewing. So if you're doing some reading of metadata and you use that metadata to do something else, then let's talk, right? Because we are removing the properties except properties that are string properties and object ID, like blocks and attributes, but everything else we are maintaining. So you can think of, there are some information that is not needed. So we are trying to confirm with everyone if that will be okay. Now, complete different topic, and it's also interesting just for awareness. For Revit, you can now select the version of the Revit translator, not the version per se, but no, if you're using the current or next or previous, right? So if you haven't seen this, you can use next to experiment with the upcoming changes for the Revit translator. And if you don't say anything, you always use current. And whenever we deploy something to current, whatever is on current will move to previous as a fallback if you have any problems, right? So you can experiment with next and use previous as a fallback if something happens. So this is for Revit, and if you are doing Revit translations and you want to see what's coming next, you can experiment that with the next channel. Just keep in mind that it's possible that something that goes into next may not go to current because we find a problem, we want to fix it. So we are going to iterate over the next, but everything that was on current will go to previous as a fallback. So something that you can use. And if you're using Revit translations, that's something that you'll be interested in using too. Okay, so those are interesting. One was a call for feedback on DWG. So we record this presentation and share on YouTube. So if you're watching the recording and you're talking about you're using DWG and I have some concerns about that change, talk to us. And yeah, now let me go back to you again. No other questions or topics. Anything else going on your side?
They didn't have their coffee today.
Oh yeah. It happens quite often.
Should we make the announcement about the OSS?
Oh yeah, sure.
All right, so OSS, as
Would
you
you like
know,
to share a screen to point out, just to give some context?
Yes, 1 second.
Or I can share that as well.
What is that? Do you have it handy somewhere there? Like, oh no, I got it.
A general question.
Yeah.
I understand that the ACC features versus the BIM 360 features. It seems as though the ACC endpoints are kind of being updated over time. Some of them overlap with BIM 360, some do not. At Autodesk University, will there be more announcements on further differences between the two, or should we just follow the website on what's different and what's the same?
So the differences on the API for ACC and BIM 360 are documented on the Forge website. And whenever you go to any documentation, there is is this API compatible or not with BIM 360 or ACC? So that's the
Yes.
the official source of information. So AU is coming next week. There will be some announcements, in the various things. I don't know about the BIM 360 announcements yet. So that's coming next week. So whenever we do the announcement or about anything, we'll immediately come to our website. So yeah, we have to wait until next week, and we have a keynote Tuesday, and I believe we have the industry keynote for construction on Wednesday. So that's probably when we're doing the construction announcements.
Oh, okay. But by the way, I think it was maybe the last Forge Coffee Talk. There was a mention that work shared models, you could use design automation on work shared models, if I'm remembering that correctly.
Yeah, that was on beta a while back, and we are now working to get that moved out of beta, but it's not finalized yet.
Okay, so there won't be a big announcement at AU that it's out of beta.
I don't have the announcements yet, so that's coming next week.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, so I can quickly talk about this. So as you know, we're migrating to direct to S3 approach on the OSS side of it from the data management API. It was announced back in March with a deprecation happening at the end of this month. We realize it's quite some big change. So we're gonna actually extend the deprecation date for this. And the new date is December 31st of this year. So you still have some more time if you haven't actually do the migration yet. There are some more incoming updates that are happening to the different services. For example, the tutorials and design automation have been updated in order to address this change into the new direct to S3 approach. And also we have our Nugget package, and also the NPM has been updated with logic in order to manage this. But the good news about all this stuff is that we already have now a work in progress team that it's developing like official SDKs for this. So we're close to release an alpha version of the C# one that is going to be in private beta, but soon migrating into the public beta itself. So that way you guys who are C# developers will be able to start using this. And then the other thing will be to later on be working on the node package as well. And yeah.
Thank you, Jaime.
Yeah.
It's just that we are a bit over time, and I don't want to extend too much, and
Yeah.
have some other. So yeah, the S3 it's postponed a bit, so you still have a little time, but no, it's important to do the migration as soon as you can, right? Okay, so with that, let me wrap up. The next coffee break, as usual, we post the recording on Twitter, and the next coffee break is coming in 2 weeks, same time, same link on the October 5th. And thank you very much for joining today, and see you in 2 weeks. Thank you very much for joining today.
Thank you.